Everyone. So in today's video, I'm going to go through a very clean entry on EU from yesterday. Okay, so we have supply up here, and I'm going to talk about weak highs, strong lows, why this would be a really high quality trade. I didn't get involved in this trade because of the timing, so it was outside of my trading hours. So meaning, it's late afternoon, evening sort of time, spreads coming up. I don't really want to be in trades. So what we can look at is how I would take it, how you could be, taking this trade, why it played out, why it's a high quality trade, and we take it from there. So if we just go back a little bit, and as always, we're on the hourly time frame. So if we just zoom in, okay. Now obviously, stating the obvious, we have an impulsive bearish move down. So previously we had a push up, taken out a high, a push down, a pullback, an impulsive move. Okay, so we've got a lot of, this candle here leaving, it's a fair value gap, imbalance, whatever you want to call it. That's not too important, but what is important is we've seen nice momentum down, breaking the structure, breaking this low. And what I was looking at the time, I know we've pulled back, we put in a new low. There was entries to take with these wicks. If you're looking at trading sales from a discount, you can look at that, but I wasn't personally looking at that. But at the point in time, I had this low and this high. You can see price came in to, well, not yet, but it came into supply, into this wick. So firstly, I was looking at these wicks. So rather than that candle, I was looking at the wick here and then the wick that goes back up. Price is above the EQ, so we're in a premium price. So now we know that, 15-minute time frame, and I believe I looked at that wick. Okay, so really that's where momentum kicked in. It started from here. We broke the low. Okay, we broke structure. And going back to the hourly quickly, we have so we have a low, we pull back, we put in a new lower low, and then at this point in time we have a lower low and we have a lower high. Okay, this is the most recent high. What price does is it impulsively pushes, well, it was impulsive, but we wicked, we closed just above, but whatever, we still broke this high. So once we broke this most recent high, this low becomes strong. Okay, this is now a strong low. The reason is because this low took the high. Okay, this didn't, it got violated, it got taken out. This is strong. Once that happened, that was strong. So I did put this into Discord, a little forecast, what I was looking at for price to take out this high, because this is how I view it. You may have a different view, but that's absolutely fine. Once we have this confirmed strong low, okay, so this high got taken out, we've got a strong low. I'm looking for that to stay strong basically, and for price not to take it out, because if price takes it out, it's no longer a strong low. Okay, so with that knowledge and with that being said, we have a strong low. So what can we expect? Well, we can expect for that strong low to perform and take out the high. Okay, that's why I put in a forecast for that high to be taken out. That's what happened. Lower time frame demand in control, and this happens a lot. Okay, so once we get a high taken out, we've got a strong low that the low holds. Price doesn't go lower. Strong low is, it continues, and then we get that push up, breaking structure. That's why I thought, lower time frame was in control here, and then that's why I thought price was then going to come into here, into a premium supply, and then we can sell off from there. That's what price done. So now we know that, we can go into a 15-minute, and I know there's a lot going on, but try and focus on this supply zone up here. Now there's a lot of opportunity to get involved in demand. So we have a push up here, price comes back in, mitigates, lower time frame entries. There's an entry here, another push up here, lower time frame entries, you know, so on and so forth. Even here, when we can refine this to the lower time frames. But if we go forward, price taps into our supply zone. So before this, I'm on the 1 minute time frame looking for price delivery. So we can zoom right out and we can really, you know, try and break down price. So what's happening? So high, 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 low, high, 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 low. We leave a bit of liquidity. That's a bit of liquidity for me because we haven't tapped into supply, but we've sort of reacted from nothing. People are getting FOMO, we break a low, and then people are looking to get involved in entries here and here. So that's the first sign of inducement, and that's what I'm viewing as, you know, inducement. And again here, look, impulsive move down, that's an entry for some people, but we know that inducement hasn't been cleared yet, and we haven't really tapped into supply. We've been close, so this can be tempting to take this, but we need to, you know, stick to the plan and really understand what's going on. The markets, you know, the composite man is building liquidity, getting people FOMO'd, and then getting ready to take people out. Okay. So yeah, look, we tap in, we take out that inducement liquidity, and we tap in for the very first time right here. So in this scenario where I would, you know, I'm normally waiting for the first high to be taken out, as we've had inducement already and a clear of liquidity, I wouldn't necessarily be waiting for a second high once we tap in from the first high. I'm really just, if we don't get the second high, I will still take entries if we get, you know, a high quality setup. Okay, so I've marked on the most recent level of demand, which is here. If we go forward, look, we mitigate. What does price do? It reacts. We do push higher. Do we take the high? I don't believe we do. Okay, so when we break structure, we mitigate demand here. We push off, react, but we fail. We fail to go higher. So what's that saying? Well, price is failing to go higher. It's, you know, bullish lower time frame order flow is failing. Demand has mitigated, but then it's failed to put in a new high, and it's broken, and it's failed demand. Supply is formed. Okay, simple as that. Bearish intent. And another thing that I would be, or one thing I'm testing, I've been testing for a while, is if we just zoom in, we can see, look, an entry that you could be looking at is the very, very tiny candle up here. And although that's all right to be looking at that entry, you may not get tapped in because price may come to the low and go from there. And I see this happen quite a lot. Not always, but when we have little candles for our, you know, our zone creation, it lowers the probability of us getting tapped in. If we've got a large candle like this, then, you know, we take that. But really, we can sort of refine it, or the opposite of refine, and just take the high and the low of the range, and then either take the EQ or, you know, the bottom of it. Okay. And if we go forward, we'll see what happens. Okay, boom. And that will be the EQ. The high, the low, that's the EQ. So the EQ is the equilibrium, so it's the halfway point of our POI. We get tapped in. What does price do? Boom. Straight away, look, within a few minutes, or 10, 15, 20 minutes, 17, nearly 18%. Crazy. And then look, it's just such an easy entry, but it's not easy. We've broken down price. Okay, we've waited for inducement. We waited for that inducement to be taken out in the form of liquidity. Bearish intent, S&D flip. So the S&D flip zone, Bob's your uncle. EQ, the high of the low of the range. What calls to break? This. Boom. And that is literally, that's the strategy. Like, just keep it simple. if you can get one of these trades a week, no, even a month, if you get one of these trades a month, you know, 20%, that's 20k on 100k. That's so much money. It's crazy. And the good news is we get these most days. So that's why the strategy is crazy. So yeah, it's down to you to put in the work, and if you do, then you reap the rewards basically. But going to a 15, obviously you're going to want to manage aggressively, unless you partial, because this is coming up to spreads. So we can see, look, even right. So if you're in this trade, when do you move to break even? Well, this is the low. You wait for that to be taken out, either here or when we close below, then you move to break even. You know, that's what I do. Also, there's not really much to mitigate it here, so it's less likely for price to come back, tap you out of break even, then go short, because there's nothing really to mitigate. We've got a wick that comes back up, and you know, it's all pretty efficient. Okay, if it wasn't and we had an impulsive move down, then I probably, you know, it's a bit subjective and it depends on the example, but I probably wouldn't move to break even straight away. But you know, it depends. If we're running 6%, then I would, because 6% leading to a loss, you know, I wouldn't do that. Okay, so right, so you can manage at that low once we keep pushing down, but I wait for clear structure. So we pull back, range, we finally take the low there, so we manage at the structure point or even there, it's up to you. For me, I'll be managing there, and then again I'll be managing more aggressive due to probably even closing it, but due to spreads I'll be managing at that structure point once we break the low, and then I would have been taken out for 16.55%. Okay, if we go forward. Okay, it's during spreads now, so it's going to be, let's just go to a 15 minute, and you know, it's ranging during Asia, so we don't expect much, but we do have an area here. So 15 minute push down, inside bar, new low, POI in here. It's not clean, I understand that, but there is entries that you can be looking at. For me, doesn't really interest me, but you know, comes down to your own preference. And boom, we put in that low, and yeah, this is an hourly demand zone, so if price is going to load, we have an hourly extremity demand down here. Not the cleanest again, but we're not looking for perfection, just looking for trades that make sense. That's why price reacted, and we did have lower time frame entries in there. And this is where price is now. So yeah, I'm going to keep this video short and sweet, because that's how I like to do things. Keep it informative, loads of information, but not ramble on, because I think a lot of people just ramble on, and they're doing talking for half hour and you just don't take it in. So this way, you know, keep it 10 minutes in and out, and keep it extremely valuable. So yeah, I hope you found value in this trade. Lots more videos to come, and yeah, I hope you've had a really good trading week, and yeah, peace out.